Welcome to Destination Everywhere with hospitality and travel entrepreneurs Todd Bludworth and Andy McNeill. Having traveled to over 100 countries, Todd and Andy bring you unique perspectives with celebrities in the know, hospitality experts, and native connoisseurs to discover must-dos and inspirational destinations to plan your next trip for business or pleasure. So pack your bags and get ready as we bring you Destination Everywhere with Todd and Andy.
Welcome, everyone, to this spotlight episode of Destination Everywhere. I'm Andy McNeill, along here with my partner, Todd Bludworth, to talk about the coolest meeting and event spaces in New York City, the city that never sleeps, and there's always something to do. And we have picked our favorites that we've done over the years. Todd, how many events have we done in New York over the last 20 years? 1,000?
I couldn't even tell you, but it does feel like we're up there quite a bit. And every time we discover something new.
Yeah.
So these spaces are really, really cool because they're just a small portion of so much that the city has to offer, but there's some really cool ones.
Yeah, and I'm looking at the list we put together, and I'm thinking off the top of my head about 4 more that we haven't even talked about. So maybe we'll just riff on those at the end as well.
I know that always happens on our show is as we're talking about something, it reminds me of something else, and then you kind of want to add it, but then you're like, it could go on and on forever.
Yeah, well, we've been doing this for a really, really long time. And New York is one of those places we've probably been most to, right? So got a lot of experience, and hopefully we can share that with you guys today. So let's talk about the Edison Ballroom in Times Square.
Edison Ballroom, amazing. You can totally avoid the chaos and mayhem of Times Square in this beautiful ballroom. It originally opened up in the 1930s, and then it reopened again in 2008. In the original Art Deco style as it was intended, which is very cool. And it's ideal for conferences, product launches, galas, award ceremonies, company get-togethers.
I love the rooftop. I mean, the rooftop is just amazing. It's got a retractable roof, right? So you don't have to worry about fully
retractable roof for all weather events. How you have to sometimes reserve. You want an outdoor event, but then you're like, well, let me just have a backup that's never quite as nice as what you have in your head. So this, you can plan full force and not worry about weather.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So the next one we're going to talk about is the Farm Soho, which is also, New York City can feel really, really overwhelming at times, right? And so this kind of gives you that rustic ambiance in Lower Manhattan. That's just really, really cool. Yeah.
The Farm Soho, it has, several conference rooms. It's got a main event space. And of course, you got to love these rooftop spaces. So this has a stunning rooftop space with amazing views of Manhattan.
It has exposed brick walls and industrial-chic decor. So it's great for business social as well as for a wedding or bar mitzvah, anything like that, the Farm Soho.
Next, let's talk about the Music Hall of Williamsburg in Brooklyn. So this one, we're going to go outside of Manhattan. We're going to go across the bridge for this venue. And it has a maximum capacity of about 650 attendees. It's cocktail tables, lounge seating, and bars throughout. And it's ideal for any kind of celebratory event, galas, and award ceremonies.
I like it because it also is a music venue. And so it hosts a range of popular and upcoming bands. So you can always see something great there. And it's just super chic. It's a very, very interesting place. You just get that. And, Williamsburg is by far, one of the hottest neighborhoods in Brooklyn. So you buy just great food and shopping as well.
Next, let's go to what we're going to say in Brooklyn, but we're going to go to Brooklyn Steel. And one of the most versatile event spaces in New York City. It was originally a steel factory. And this venue sports a very cool industrial look. Much of the steel from the original building was repurposed when it became a venue, which is really cool.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 bars in there. So it's perfect for celebratory events or networking events. Just a great space overall. Very versatile.
It's got a private VIP room.
Yeah, that's nice.
On the balcony level. If you ever want to separate a smaller group, you want to use it as a green room space, host some VIP. It doesn't matter. It's just a really cool private space for a smaller group within the party.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's jump back over to Manhattan. Tons of places to look in Manhattan. So let's look at the New York Historical Society, which was founded in 1804. So you kind of getting a feel for it as well. Located right across from Central Park in the heart of the Upper West Side. So that gives you kind of an idea of where it's physically located there. And it's a brandable space for business, which is fantastic. And it's ideal for conferences and meetings and any type of event.
And this was actually the first museum in New York City. The courtyard has space for about 200 guests, ideal for private outdoor events. But don't forget to check out the fascinating exhibitions while you're there on topics as diverse as the Salem witch trials, which we actually did a visit to Salem, and maybe we'll have to do a Halloween episode about Salem.
Yeah, we should do that live.
Oh, it was fantastic. We'll talk about that later. But they have a gallery of Tiffany lamps and a recreation of the White House Oval Office. So that's all at the New York Historical Society.
Yeah, absolutely. So it's definitely a place. And we're not going to leave this episode without talking about one of the most famous music halls in the world, the Radio City Music Hall, which you can actually use for private events as well. It's just a nonstop venue. Obviously a lot of fun, but there's also
it's been host to the Tony Awards, the Holiday Spectacular with the Rockettes.
We went to the Tony Awards there one year, didn't we?
We did. And the Rockettes show. It's just always hosting very, very cool and amazing events. But the main hall at Radio City has a capacity of over 6,000. So it's perfect for conferences and company-wide events. You can literally roll out the red carpet for your VIPs. You've got a wonderful marquee. And inside, you walk in and it's just amazing chandeliers.
Yeah, it's great history too. I think most people don't know is you actually can do a small event there. They have the Roxy Suite, which is ideal for intimate receptions, business meetings, or a really, really nice private dinner. We need to do that sometime, have a private dinner at Radio City Music Hall. That would be fantastic. Well,
that's one you would get. I don't know anybody that wouldn't RSVP for a small private event at Radio City Music Hall. I think you would definitely up your attendee numbers if you did that.
Yeah, I agree. And I think that would be an event that nobody would want to miss. Absolutely.
So that wraps it up for this spotlight episode of the coolest meeting spaces in New York City. We would like to thank our team, Kylie Tanner, our copywriter, Andy Fernandez, our podcast producer. So please be sure to subscribe, rate, and review the show on your preferred podcast app or by going to destinationeverywhere.com. We look forward to speaking with you next time on Destination Everywhere. Safe travels.
You've just tuned in to another episode of Destination Everywhere with travel and hospitality entrepreneurs Todd Bludworth and Andy McNeill. To access the show notes and other helpful resources, visit www.americanmeetings.com. Join us again next week for another bucket list filled show as we feature another travel-worthy destination. Until next time, travel well and be safe out there.